Now we're live. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. I got my boy with me, very good friend of mine. Does a lot of great videos. Check out his YouTube, Shady Slim.
Appreciate you having me on your show, man.
I appreciate you coming. It's an honor to have you here. You have some amazing YouTube, amazing channel, some great videos.
Your channel as well, bro.
Thank you. All right, let's get down to business. There was some great fights last night. We have David Haye and Mark Mori. What do you think about that fight last night?
Man, I thought the fight was fixed, or either the other guy was just plain outright scared. But I'm gonna go with a fix, man, because he covered up. I just watched the replay this morning. He was covered up. He was afraid to throw any punches, and it basically looked like the fight was fixed, man. What's your opinion on it?
Well, David Haye was looking for a comeback fight. And what I recall is Mark Demori, he screamed, he said, "Yeah, I want this fight." He said it on Twitter, he wants this fight. And some fighters, that's the way they are. They want the fight, and then when they step in the ring, they realize they don't want to be there. Or, you know, like you said, the way it looked, the way it looked, honestly, the
Yeah, like
man,
Mike Tyson, who was the guy he fought when he first won heavyweight title? I think it was Spinks. Spinks, he got in that ring with Spinks. Spinks looked terrified, man. I believe that's the same way with the boy Hayford. He looked terrified from the get go.
yeah, Demori did look terrified. It's either Hayes that strong or Demore took a dive. Because I expected the trash talking, the headbutt, and at the press conference, you know what I mean? The pre-fight press conference. I remember he clashed heads with David Haye. He looked like he was really gonna come in there and do last longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't see a first round knockout coming, man, in that fight. Didn't see that coming at all. What do you think? Hey, what do you want to see? Like, hey, do next? Where do you think he goes from here?
I see David Haye looking for a big fight, looking for a big payday, but I don't know if he's gonna get it. If he does get it, right? It
Mm.
depends who it is. I don't believe he's gonna come to America and fight Deontay Wilder, because he doesn't have that following in America like he does in the UK, in
What
Europe.
about what about Tyson Fury? Think that fight can happen?
Tyson Fury, yeah, I believe he'll definitely fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury won't take the fight though now. He's gonna do the same thing the guy did to him. David Haye didn't give him the fight.
Yeah, he kind of feels like hey, like disrespected him, so he might not get hey that payday.
No, I don't think he's gonna give him.
Anthony Joshua, that would be a big fight too. He fights Joshua. That would be a big fight. And over in the UK,
Well, yeah, nowadays the way they're paying Joshua millions of dollars, Joshua made a couple million just to fight Dylan White, and if he fights David Haye, which probably is the reason why David Haye came back to fight Anthony Joshua, because there's a big ticket in UK right now. It's Anthony Joshua in the heavyweight division, and I believe that David Haye will go for Joshua. That deal may fall through, but I believe before that we'll have a Dylan White Anthony Joshua rematch before we see a David Haye Anthony Joshua.
you think White deserves a rematch? Think you gonna give him a rematch?
Dylan White, um, he says he hurt his shoulder. He said he hurt his arm during the fight. He was hurt before that. One thing I know for sure, if you're a righty and you hurt your left shoulder, usually it's very hard to come back from that. You know what I mean? Dylan White may need surgery before he comes back. I don't believe Dylan White will ever be the same. He's been injured, and I can't say that he came into the fight injured. I know that if a big man like Anthony Joshua is hitting you, and I remember the first round, Anthony Joshua was trying to take Dylan White out, and someone that strong is gonna hurt anybody wherever they hit him. Because he was trying to make fun of Anthony Joshua, calling him a skinny bodybuilder, but Anthony Joshua is building his body into a weapon for boxing. And
Yeah, he got a lot of power, that's for sure. A lot of power.
he does have a lot of power.
I think he's gonna be the next up and coming fighter of the heavyweight. I think he's gonna be the next top heavyweight because you got Klitschko, Fury, you got Wilder. I think he's gonna be the upper echelon of all those guys. It's my opinion on that.
I see Anthony Joshua beating a lot of people. Now, I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, Bomb Squad. At the same time, I'm a fan of a lot of heavyweights. And the reason why I'm a Deontay Wilder fan because he goes for the knockout. And that's the only reason I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. But one thing for sure is that with Anthony Joshua, David Haye, Tyson Fury, they're gonna keep their stock in the UK. For us to get these fights, we're gonna be waiting forever. We'll probably see a fight between them. You know what I mean? We'll probably definitely see a fight between Anthony Joshua and David Haye. That's what I believe more will happen than anything. Before we see a Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, before we see a Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury David Haye, I think we're gonna see Anthony Joshua versus David Haye 2016.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt they come to America. If it was from the UK. I doubt they come to America to make them big fights. So you about right on that. It's gonna have to be done in the UK for it to happen.
Yeah, they're gonna be afraid of the two American champions right now because even Charles Martin, I give some credit to because his power, his power, and he's a southpaw, which is very annoying to fight. As we've seen, many southpaws are
Speak,
very
yeah,
annoying to fight.
yeah, speaking of Charles Martin, let's get into that Charles Martin Glasgow fight. What are your thoughts on it, man?
We have a new champion. We have a new champion. One thing for sure, his record speaks for itself. He's undefeated, and he has many knockouts. And one thing he said at the end of the fight that what was very funny to me, and some people may not have understood it, but he stated that when he throws punches, he knocks the feet out from under the person. And I seen Glazkov was a very strong person, very strong upper body, but he had weak legs. And for you to fight in heavyweight division, you can't have weak legs. And that's something where he was at a disadvantage fighting a much taller fighter. And I give him a lot of credit for even stepping in the ring and fighting a guy like that. So when people say he ducked Wilder, I say yeah, no, because he stepped in the ring with a guy just as tall as Wilder, and maybe not be just as good, but just as powerful as Deontay Wilder. And the reason why they did it is because of money, like Duva said, it was better for it was better for them financially,
Hmm.
win or lose. Also, it was also better for for his career, for his career. Because if he had went in there and fought a Deontay Wilder, he would have went down in ranking like crazy.
Who was your pick going into that fight? Martin or Glasgow?
I picked Martin because of type of record that he has and his management. His management is bringing him up right, and that's why I picked Charles Martin because his management does not afraid to take a fight, and people were kind of afraid to fight Martin. And the people who weren't afraid to fight Martin, it always come down to like okay, and then something would happen in the end where they wouldn't fight Martin. So finally, we got a chance to see Charles Martin live, and he performed big. You know, those heavy punches take a toll on the body. If you don't brush them off like a Bernard Hopkins or Andre Ward, and you're taking them, you're absorbing that. Some part of your body is gonna take that, and that's what happened to Glazkov. His legs caved in. Those heavy impact, high capacity punches are very very dangerous, especially in the heavyweight division. Whether they hit you in the temple or hit you in the chin, whatever they hit, they're gonna hurt you.
That impact, yeah, that impact coming in. I'm sitting here eating crow, man, this morning because I picked Glasgow. I should have listened to my boy Blood. He said he was going with Martin, and I picked Glasgow. So I'm sitting here eating crow. But Charles Martin, he shocks me, man. He's precise with his punches, and that's the reason he's undefeated. He showed me a lot in that fight yesterday.
Yeah, he uses his skills. He uses what he has to his advantage. He reminds me. I'm gonna say this right. People are gonna say, why do you see it like that? Charles Martin is like kind of like 70, 80%, maybe 90%, but 70% of George Foreman. Like
He reminds you of the old George Foreman or the younger George Foreman?
young George Foreman.
Young George Foreman that was knocking out Frazier and Joe Frazier and Ali. That young George Foreman.
That Foreman. That's what he reminds me of. That Foreman who was tall, big, knew how to use his benefits to his advantage, his skills like his height, his arms, his length. He used his big wide body. He used all that to his advantage. If he fights any opponent that's not his size, he's gonna beat them because he's been trained, to use his best abilities to his advantage. His height, his reach. That's what makes him so skilled.
So who do you want to see like Martin fight next? Wilder. He's the IBF champ, so people gonna have to come see. They're gonna have to come see him. So who do
Well,
you want to come see him fight next? Would be a good matchup for him.
Lennox Lewis said it last night. The last time there were three kings, it was Mike Tyson, Holyfield, and Lennox Lewis. Right now, there are three kings. There are Deontay Wilder, Charles Martin, and Tyson Fury. And you guys can either A, duck, run, dodge each other for like 5 years, whatever it may be, 6 years, whenever one of you guys lose, or you can B, go for greatness and fight each other. I believe that Martin and Wilder, or Martin and Fury. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be kind of hard to get Fury and Wilder to make that deal. Even though I've seen all that happening, I still don't think Fury is going to take the fight. I don't believe Tyson Fury is going to take that fight. If
Not
and
unless it's in the UK. Not unless it's in the UK. He ain't gonna want to take that fight.
Nope. You hit it right in the button.
Yeah, he ain't gonna want to travel. I think Glazkov, he probably gonna want a rematch because he gonna blame that. He gonna blame. He's gonna blame that knee injury. He's gonna say, man, I hurt my knee, man, tore my ACL. I want a rematch. So he's gonna cry foul play.
That's true. That's true. But on the scorecards, that's probably what they're gonna use against him. The scorecards prove it all. When you score, especially when you score power punches that is so clearly, so visible to see. On the scorecards, Glazkov was losing bad. There was no
Yeah,
chance for that.
I had him losing. Even though I picked him, I had him losing every round up to that point. He was losing every round. But I would like to see Charles Martin fight Wilder next. If Wilder doesn't fight Povetkin, I think that would be a good fight, man. Because both guys managed by Al Heyman. I'm not sure.
It would be a quick, easy, and done fight.
Yeah. So Martin, he's with Al Heyman, right?
Yeah, quick, easy,
So
and done.
that's an easy fight to make. Wilder and Martin, and it's a unification bout. That would be a huge fight, man. In
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion, that's a huge fight.
What
So
makes
what other fight we got to cover, man? On the docket.
Whew,
Yeah, Wilder and Spilker.
the biggest fight of the night?
What was your thoughts on that fight, man?
My thoughts on the fight is very simple. It was magnificent. Honestly, I seen Wilder, which some guys say he throws off balance, and I just seen a guy who wants to win. That's what I see. I don't see a guy throwing off balance. I see a guy who's trying to knock his opponent out, who's taking a risk to win. He's not just trying to satisfy the crowd. He's trying to satisfy himself, his own urge to knock that person out. I mean, it was magnificent. Only thing I didn't like about Wilder is this. I wish that Floyd Mayweather Sr. or actually just Floyd Mayweather Sr. would take Wilder under his wing for a little bit, like he did Darrell, or like he did several other fighters, and
That's a great point, man. I was just about to bring that up. But go ahead with your thought.
just teach this guy some better defense because he has the height. Like there's some times Deontay Wilder doesn't have to get hit. I'm just keeping it real. He doesn't have to get hit. And if he would just practice, like all he has to do is watch the Manny Pacquiao fight. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan, voted for Pacquiao to win, but I have to say the truth. Floyd Mayweather did display some great defensive skills and dashes and evasive moves that I think Wilder needs to pick up on some of those moves, use the range to his advantage. Because if you're not afraid to knock the person out, that's good. But if you're getting hit while you're risking it, you know, you know,
And just to elaborate more on the training situation, I think a trainer like Freddie Roach or Floyd Senior, man, would do him wonders because his footwork was terrible. I
hmm
kept wondering, is this guy gonna fall, slip and break his neck? In the first
yes,
round, he nearly fell 2 or 3 times. In the eighth round, he fell. I'm like, man, I mean, the fundamentals you got to fix that, man. He got to get that fixed. When you fighting guys like Fury, or potential fight with a Martin or Vladimir Klitschko, you gotta have your technicals down, man, and your footwork. That has to be corrected, and his defense.
Do you hear static from me, or is it static? I hear a little static.
No, I don't hear it out of my end.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the viewers.
You getting like a
Yeah,
double echo?
yeah, it's a little static. No, it's okay, but you're right about the footwork. That's the problem I have with Deontay Wilder, and that's what everybody has with him. Getting hit when he's not supposed to be getting hit, and he needs someone to teach him better footwork. And I believe the man for the task has to be Floyd Mayweather Sr. or if I was Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? And I wanted to make myself known, you know what I'm saying? I would just take Deontay Wilder under my wing and train him.
Now I gotta ask you a controversial question now,
Sure.
because a lot of people they're crying racism and foul play this morning. How did you score that fight prior to the knockout?
Which fight? Arthur
Wilder
Spilka
Spilk.
and Wilder. Oh, Spilka was slick. He came in there. He used some boxing.
Yeah, but what was your scorecard prior to him getting stopped?
Oh, my scorecard was every round for Deontay Wilder, except for I think the second round, but every round for Deontay Wilder.
So you had Wilder up every round
Every
except the
round,
second round.
except for second round. Yeah.
I heard another brother fell shake boxing. He had Spilker winning,
No, no, no,
and
impossible,
Thunderdome boxing had Spilker winning on
impossible.
their scorecards. So a lot of people were angry with those scorecards. So you saw Wilder winning every round except one.
Every round, and the only reason why I haven't been the second round because the combination at the end of the second round from Spilka, or was it the second round or first? It was a round where Spilka had a combination at the end of it, which was okay, you know, or leading to the end of the round, and I felt like okay, Wilder had to respect him a little bit, and Wilder actually gave him a dap or kind of a hug at the end of the round. Good round, baby. Like I'm saying, good round. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's the round I gave him because even Wilder said good round to him. You know what I mean? Other than that, Wilder totally schooled this guy. It was totally schooling him. I know that Wilder is falling and moving and stuff like that because he is like a guy who has the athleticism of a basketball player, and that's why he's so fast. But he needs to understand that you know you could do a crossover, but you got to do the crossover right. You know what I'm saying? You could
Yeah,
you could side, huh? Go ahead.
gotta perfect it. Yeah.
You gotta perfect it. And trying to throw that dashing hook, or I don't know how they call it nowadays, but trying to throw that hook that he's throwing, that his knockout punch, his signature move, right? Whenever he's trying to get that person into that check hook or that leading hook, whenever he's trying to do that, you can see that he needs some footwork.
Yeah, I'm a Wilder fan too. I can just literally remember myself just screaming at the television, like, "Come on, man, get your fundamentals together, because we can easily stop this guy." I knew he could stop him, but he just had to get the footwork and get himself balanced. Because you seen Spilker he ran straight into the punch. He ran straight into that counter. When he finally balanced himself, I was like, bang! I was like, man, I hope he ain't dead, man. I was concerned for him because he ran straight into the punch. So you can see when Wilder sits down on his punches and he get his fundamentals right and his technique, he has a lot of power, man. He's a dangerous fighter. Like you said, when he's off balance, he's sloppy. I was like, they're screaming at the TV, man, balance yourself. Stop all this. Just get on balance, man. That's the kind of point you brung up, man. That was a good point.
I want him to get the credit. He actually landed a check hook. You know what I mean? And that's like if you watch the Ricky Hatton and Floyd Mayweather fight,
With that punch, that was the check hook.
that was a check hook, man. I bet you people are not gonna give him credit for that. And I see that they a lot of people don't give him credit. That's why Lennox Lewis said he's working on things, he's getting better. That right there is a sign. Even though he needs that footwork, and I love the trainer. He's a good trainer, but you can't turn the guy into you. You
No,
see what I'm
you
saying?
can't.
And that's what he's trying to do with Wilder. He's trying to turn Wilder into him. And I wish I could remember his name right now, but he was a very good fighter. And he's teaching Wilder all his tricks that he had when he ended his career. And Wilder's picking up on him great, but that footwork, he needs he needs to go to either De La Hoya or he needs to go to because I see Canelo doing a couple little tricks here and there. He needs to go to a Floyd Mayweather Sr. I mean, really bad.
Yeah, Canelo's defense, his defense has improved tremendously, man. I don't know if you've been watching Canelo, but he's a totally different fighter since that Floyd fight with his defense.
Oh yeah, I seen it against the Austin Trout. You
Yeah, the
know,
way he slips punches, man, and he's got way better as of late. So what do you want to see Wilder fight next, man? What do you think next for Wilder?
after Wilder goes and destroys Povetkin, because I don't see. You have to understand that reach, and Povetkin's gonna come in like Spilka didn't come in like he was supposed to. I feel like he did, but he did it. You know, I don't think Arthur. I don't think excuse me. I don't believe Alexander Povetkin is gonna try to be slick. That is
You
not what he's
think he's just
gonna
gonna
do.
come in there and try to brawl, knock Wilder out?
Oh man, I have another friend of mine, Jason Estrada, who lives in Rhode Island, who fought him. Right. Um, Let me tell you something. That Povetkin guy is a guy who could throw punches and stay in the pocket. All right. Make a long story short, when Wilder fights Povetkin, a lot of people are gonna be disappointed because it's really gonna go 4 rounds, and it's gonna be because of Povetkin, not because of Wilder.
Yeah, I see
Povetkin,
a lot of people picking Povetkin. A lot of people picking Povetkin to win that fight, picking him easily. I think I'm gonna go with Wilder though. I think Wilder would take it when it happens.
Teddy Atlas is not in that corner. That's all I want to tell all the fans is that Teddy Atlas is not Povetkin's trainer anymore. Okay, that is not the same Povetkin, and believe me, you know that when he steps in the ring with Wilder, he's gonna have to respect the range and respect the power. These are some things that people forget. Oh, Wilder. We can say the things. We say Wilder has bad footwork. We can say a couple things. He gets hit a couple times, but at the same time, such great offense can make up for terrible defense. You know, and, I believe Povetkin's gonna come in and he's gonna come into one of those adjustments. I seen Wilder make an adjustment. Instead of throwing the hook, he was throwing a cross straight down the middle and hitting Spilka right dead in the forehead. It even hit Spilka on a I think right or left side of his face with a cross straight down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when Povetkin comes to fight Wilder, who's throwing crosses and hooks and
He,
still spitting out jabs, he's gonna be in trouble.
yeah, if he catches him with a counter, it might be good night. He hit him with one of them counter shots that he caught Spilker with.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be lights out. So
for
what do you
sure.
think about Tyson Fury jumping in the ring, man? That looked like something The Rock would have did. Jumping in that ring last night and confronting Deontay Wilder. What you think about that, man?
At first, I said, what is this publicity stunt? But then I looked at it for a second and I said, you know what? They're trying to, have these two people, talk and stuff like that and try to keep it professional. And we may assume it's a publicity stunt, but I see it in basketball games and other things, you know what I mean, in other sports, where you expect these two to kind of be, calm and became more of a big deal than everybody thought it was.
I
You know,
think
we
what it is, Tyson Fury. I don't think he respects Deontay Wilder because he got in there calling the man a bum. At one point, he called him a basketball player. I don't think he respects Wilder too much.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any respect for Deontay Wilder, and that's going to be a big mistake. I think that I believe that Tyson Fury is a good fighter. I believe that I actually, you know, rooted for Vladimir Klitschko against Fury. So when Fury beat Klitschko, he earned my respect. No matter what, he earned my respect. And when Fury wants to call people bums, I say this to Fury: the best person you have in your resume is Klitschko. At least
That's a good point. That's a good point you made. Best
best
fight
person.
on his resume is Klitschko. Wow,
You know,
that's a good point.
at least, right? I can say this guy has Malik Scott. He has Stavern, right? Okay.
Another good point.
He
Range
also,
Tavern.
yeah, he also has. Now people don't like Molina. Molina had only had one loss when he fought Wilder, right? Then Johan Duhaupas, no, he's not the best. He's not top. No, nope, no, he's not. But Wilder, that was you could tell it was a tough fight for Wilder. There was a good hype for him and everything. Now this last person that he fought, Spilka, was doing a whole bunch of different things. But if you go back in Deontay Wilder's career, right, and look at the caliber fighters that he's fighting right now, I mean that he fought back then,
It's
compared
way improved, vastly improved.
way improved, but compared to the fighters that Not to disrespect Charles Martin or Tyson Fury. I'm just speaking the truth. But like I said, Martin fought some good fighters. Fury fought some good fighters. You know, Wilder fought a lot of experienced fighters. Look at their records. You know what I mean? You compare these people's records and their wins and their losses. The people that Wilder fought have more wins if you put them all together. Or actually, if you don't put, because Wilder has more wins than Szpilka, and he has more wins than Tyson Fury. You know, and I mean, and more wins than Charles Martin. But if you stop at 20 fights or 21, 20, it's about 20. How many is it for Tyson Fury? Um, they're in the
Fury.
20s though, right? When you stop at their fights and you
20.
compare, you can see Deontay Wilder still fought the better competition back then, based on the people's records. It's based on their records, man.
Wow.
Boxing has it. It's the truth.
You gonna make a lot of people. You gonna make a lot of Tyson Fury fans mad, saying that Wilder got a better resume than Fury.
He does.
They gonna
Wilder
be coming for you.
a longer and better resume. It's just the truth. I know the Fury camp probably doesn't want to hear it, and they believe beating up on a 40-year-old man makes you great. That's what they believe. That's all I want to say. You know what I mean? They believe that beating up on a 40-year-old man makes you great. Because in a rematch, he will be 40. You know what I'm saying? He will be 44 and 41. All right, so,
Everybody can't age like Floyd did.
you know. Now Floyd was a master of his craft. He knew all the little tricks, like Berto said. You know what I mean? That's why Floyd don't want to fight no more. You know why Floyd don't want to rematch nobody? People get mad at Floyd rematching. It's the same thing when I used to play my video game. I don't really rematch nobody either because you learn my technique. Floyd don't want to rematch nobody because after you fight him, you know what he does.
Exactly. They're gonna learn your style.
Yeah, that's why he don't rematch people. You know, look at Andre Berto did the other day when he fought Floyd. He told everybody what Floyd does. He takes his breather here. He does this. He does that. You know, when a manual's out there, eventually somebody's gonna beat you. When everybody spitting out the manual, everybody's saying, yeah, call this person. He'll tell you this. Call that person. Tell you that. With social media out there, you could find the tricks to beat anybody.
That blueprint. You're gonna get that blueprint away.
Look what happened to Ronda Rousey. Shoot.
Yep. They know the boxer, striker, gives her the most problems. Now, every fight she fight, they gonna try to use that same blueprint that Holly Holm used.
Yep.
So that's the perfect scenario, man. If we can get Tyson Fury to win that rematch, get Wilder to beat Povetkin, that sets up a unification with Fury and Wilder. Huge fight.
Be the best fight for boxing. I think that's better than people. Then I no disrespect Charles Martin, but I feel like just a Fury and Wilder fight would fix the heavyweight division for another 20 years.
Definitely, they both capable of doing that. Before we wrap up, man, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit, man. What do you think, Ronda Rousey? You think she coming back, man? Or she involved with these movies, man? 'Cause I wanted to see her come back.
Last champion a striker beat was Cris Cyborg. She defeated one of the UFC champions, and she went to do acting. You know, Holly Holm. I believe some people may not believe this, but I do believe that Ronda Rousey may come back. May not be against Holly Holm. You know, I believe Holly Holm may have retired Ronda Rousey with that long.
You think Holly Holm took her soul from her?
Yeah, I believe that Holly Holm with that type of with that type of performance.
I was like, damn, man, I was hoping to see her at the UFC 200. They talking about she ain't fighting. She got a movie pushed back. I'm like, come on, man. You might be right, man. Holly Holm probably done took her soul from her.
Yeah, she retired her.
That's probably what done went down. Who you think gonna win out of Misha Tate and Holly Holm? Who you think gonna win that?
Well, hopefully Misha takes Holly Holm to the ground because that's what Ronda Rousey did not do. Um, Misha has some good ground game. She has some good stand-up game. I believe that Holly Holm hasn't fought somebody long enough, tall enough. So when she fights 17-5, Misha Tate, it was more to me like it was just because Ronda was such a great jiu-jitsu artist. You know what I mean? She couldn't beat Ronda because of that. But Misha Tate, I believe, has a chance against Holly Holm. I still say Holly Holm may win, but if anybody's gonna beat Holly Holm, and if it's not gonna be Ronda Rousey, she's gonna be Misha Tate or Misha Tate, Cris Cyborg, and maybe Juliana Pena, maybe because of the reach, because you need somebody with some reach to fight Holly. You really do. You can't just what I
Yeah,
seen
gotta be able
Holly
to
do
strike.
to her. Huh?
You gotta be able to strike.
Oh yeah. What I seen Holly do to Ronda Rousey, believe me, I don't think anybody right now, unless it's Misha, Cyborg, or Juliana Pena because of the reach that can get to her. Also, there's a new girl. I forgot her name. I gotta remember her name. She fought a couple weeks ago, and she's pretty good. She might be an effective fighter. But so far, those three big names are the ones who
Yeah,
will be.
the fan in me just want to see Holly Holm win, just to keep a possibility of that Ronda Rousey Holly Holm rematch open. Just the fan in me.
I like Ronda. She did great for the UFC women's division, and her time has passed. And not to diss or anything like that. Her time has passed because that right there, I already see it now. All somebody's gonna do now is run from Ronda and hit her and run,
Hit and run. Yep, that's gonna be a blueprint. Hit and run.
hit her and run.
The hit and run strategy. That's gonna be it.
Yep.
Let me get two more predictions from you before we head out. What's your prediction on McGregor and Aldo? Who you got winning that?
You mean Dos Anjos? You mean
Yo, Dos Anjos. Y'all got his name wrong. And McGregor.
McGregor's out of his league. He better
What?
not move up.
Oh, I gotta disagree. Go ahead.
If McGregor moves up, it's different, man. You know what I mean? When say for example me, right? Right now I'm a light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Say I want to move up to cruiserweight or move up to heavyweight. I gotta move up with that power. You know what I'm saying? You see, same thing with Floyd. That's the reason why he didn't go fight Gennady. And the same thing with, Gennady not going to go fight Ward. You know, you gotta move up with that power. And I don't think he's gonna take that power with him. That power is because he's a little bit bigger than he is. He's bullying people like Adrian Bronner. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, I like Bronner, but at one point in time he was bullying people. And
I
same
gotta
thing with
give it. I gotta give it to you, man. You got heart. That's a bold prediction to go against the cash cow of the UFC, Conor McGregor. I
he
gotta,
may be
I
the
gotta
cash.
respectfully, I gotta respectfully disagree with you on that one. I
Oh,
can't go, I
yeah.
can't go against Conor McGregor. Just can't do it, especially after what he did to Jose Aldo. But I hear those Anjos. I hear he's a beast.
Trust me, Conor McGregor's been defeated before, twice.
Hmm.
Dos Anjos is in a division where you gotta execute your opponent. You know what I mean, you gotta terminate your opponent, and I know for sure that when Conor McGregor moves up, fight Dos Anjos, he's gonna make a mistake. If I was him, I'd go fight Nate Diaz first for the money.
Yeah, Nate Diaz would have been an easier opponent for him.
You know what I mean, be an easier opponent because all you gotta do is sit there and talk trash to each other, and you got a good counter left, which will catch Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? But Dos Anjos, I'm sorry, man. He's gonna come with a burst rush at this dude, McGregor. And McGregor's not gonna be able to counter because McGregor used to counter somebody who's trying to throw a punch or trying to throw a kick. He's not used to countering a guy like Dos Anjos who's gonna throw punches and kicks at the same time while moving forward. He's in trouble. Trust me, he's in trouble.
Oh, wow, that's a bold prediction. Let's end it on this, man. You know I can't let you go without asking you an Amir Khan question. What fight do you think he should take next? The Kell Brook fight or the Danny Garcia fight? If he beats Robert Guerrero, they just made him mandatory for the WBC. So what fight do you think he should take?
Well, where I'm from in Massachusetts, as you can see, Beeb from the Boxing Voice says the same thing. Some people look at a guy and thinks when he loses, he's done, he's finished. Danny Jacobs is proof that they're not finished. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson's also proof that they're not finished. A lot of boxers are proof that if you take a Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying, Timothy Bradley, these guys are proof that if you lose, it's not over. You know, for sure, Amir Khan has the fastest hands in the welterweight division. Okay, Danny Garcia was getting destroyed in that fight against Amir Khan. Okay, he did what a lot of fighters do, and you can do it in the street, you can do it in the ring. You just throw it. You're trying to land it. You know what I mean? You don't see where it's going, but you're trying to hit him.
Do it with his eyes closed.
Danny Garcia had his eyes closed, landed a clean shot, had his face turned, Amir Khan went down. You know, Amir Khan is not really thinking about that at that time. He wasn't thinking about the guy trying to hurt him going backwards. You know what I'm saying? But
You think about it.
he didn't think about it. You know what I mean? I mean, I would do the same thing. I probably would have got caught with the same shot, especially fast hands. The second time around is why they're avoiding him. They're avoiding Amir Khan because they know that the second time around that eyes closed shot will not happen. This is gonna go 12 rounds.
He's gonna get outboxed.
He's gonna get my box. And that's what's gonna happen. And that guy's face is gonna be tore apart real bad. Danny Garcia won't be wearing sunglasses. He'll be wearing a face mask walking out the building. You know, that's just the truth, man. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. I think Danny Garcia should continue ducking and keep that win and do what I used to do what Floyd does, no rematch, GG. You know, but it's too late now. The WBC has spoken. There will be a rematch. Well,
who you want to see him fight next? Kell Brook or Garcia?
I want to see him fight Garcia. Kell Brook.
Yeah, I think Garcia is the bigger fight too. But go ahead.
Garcia is the bigger fight. Garcia is the bigger fight. Garcia is the definite win. Now, some people probably disagree with me, like, oh, this and that, this and that. Well, I see this to you people. You know, go to the knockout, hit play, go slow motion, and tell me if that man's eyes are open or if that man's eyes were closed. All right, that man's eyes was closed. All right, and then I know that Danny Garcia likes to say sometimes you put in a fight that you're supposed to win, and you don't win it. When he's talking about that, right, he's talking about Amir Khan. You know what I mean? He's talking about Amir Khan, his experience with Amir Khan, because he knew he was put in a position where he was going to freaking lose, and he just won.
Got lucky.
He got lucky. That's what he's talking about. A lot of people don't realize that's what he's referring to. That life experience that he had. You know, that's what he's referring to. Prescott just came in. I don't even know what happened to that.
He bum rushed a young. I think he had 16. Yeah, he had 16 fights going into that fight. You young, 18. basically. You basically what the word they use prospect. When you're a prospect, man, those things are bound to happen to you. They can happen to you at any point. You 16 fights in.
But if he fights Prescott now, he'll kill Prescott.
Oh yeah. Is Prescott even fighting? I think Prescott's retired, man.
I know he's not fighting, but if I was Amir Khan, I would do this, right? I would purpose this. People like to talk retirement. This is what these guys do. They love to talk trash about Amir Khan. So they like to bring stuff like that all the time. I mean that, you need to fight Prescott, you need to redeem yourself against Prescott, you need to fight this. All right. We know Danny Garcia is ducking like a chicken. Buck, 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 like a chicken, right? So we got this force now by the WBC. Now, okay, so that's one. Prescott is out of commission for a while. He can always give Prescott a payday. Just say, hey, bum, here goes 500,000 so I can just beat you up, you know what I'm saying, just to redeem myself. This is easy money for Amir Khan, right? The only person that I want to see Amir Khan fight is Danny Garcia, because that's the closed-eyed thing, right? I don't want to see Amir Khan fight Lamont Peterson, Mr. Bane. You know, he think he Bane from Batman, keep on juicing himself and shit. Like, no, you know what I mean? I don't want to see that at all. I know for a fact, and it's because of where, I don't want to say nothing that, can be used against him, but where he's from and what he does and who he's associated with is the reason why he's doing those things, because they think it's okay. Lamont Peterson is the modern day freaking cheater.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on all them points. I would like to see him leave the game, beating Garcia, beating Brook, and then unify with the Thurman Porter winner, and then walking away from the game. Those 3 fights, then walk away healthy with all your faculties.
Oh, they left the game to him, Floyd and Pacquiao. When they left, they basically left it to Amir Khan, and they could sit there and say what they want to say. A lot of people are going to say different things. You guys are ducked Amir Khan. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? They could say that. They could basically, they're the reason why Amir Khan is going to be able to take over. That's why, because they didn't fight him and finish him when they had the chance. They're going to be the reason. Amir Khan has open field now. People don't realize that. Who's the tallest and the fastest one in the welterweight division? Is it not Khan? One of the tallest.
And reach advantage.
Yeah, reach advantage. So it's Khan. Khan's gonna take over. What do you think Manny Pacquiao voted Khan? Because Khan is not, it doesn't have the defensive ability as Floyd, but like I said in early in this video, great offense can make up for defense. And Amir Khan has great offense.
All right, so we gonna wrap it up on there.
It was a good show, man. I'm glad you came. I had a great time, and
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on your channel too, man. And you doing big things with the gaming industry, man. You one of the biggest gaming channels on YouTube. So man, keep doing what you're doing, man, with the boxing as well, man.
I
Got one of the
appreciate it.
best boxing channels doing both and UFC. I forgot about the UFC, and you about to start doing WWE. So let me know when you do that WWE, so I can start following that as well, because I'm a fan of WWE, UFC, boxing, all of it. And you covering all of them, man. So keep doing what you're doing and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Take care, man. I'm glad I had you. We had a little static issue, but hopefully people can bear with us and watch it.
Hopefully the sound came out good. We'll see.
All right, take care.
All right, you too, man.